show, the fast 5 things you need to know. We'll start your day off swirly, it's the toast. I sound amazing.
Welcome back to The Toast and happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's having a gargy-pargy hump day. Speaking of somebody I'd love to hump, but who would never let me get that close to her.
Not a day in your life.
Is Jacqueline Follet.
Hello, Turtaloo. It is a lovely hump day, a Wednesdays, a With Love Wednesday.
For you, it's a With Love Wednesday. For me, it's a woman-hating Wednesday. And that woman...
How is this woman-hating Wednesday different from all other woman-hating Wednesdays?
I'm so glad you asked. I met a new woman to hate last night. Her name is Ruby Franke. Obviously, I've heard about the saga on social media. I had no idea, what it was really about. And holy shit, I watched her documentary last night. Shout out to Hulu for making 3 normal-lengthed episodes and teaching me everything that I could watch in one night. I appreciate that.
Like Ashley Madison.
Correct. Oh my God, it was so upsetting. I actually don't even think I would recommend you to watch it. Although now I'm thinking a lot of things about children on the internet, family channels that I think you probably have a lot of interesting thoughts on too. But I fucking hate this bitch and her ugly, bald, fat, stupid husband.
Well, here's my question, because she abused her children, right?
Yes.
So why is that a referendum on other people's family channels? If this woman is abusive and it's not just yes, she also put her kids on her channel, but the crime is the abuse.
So the funny thing is that the only episode that focused on the really heinous physical abuse, starving, tying up her kids, leaving them out in the sun in Utah in the middle of the desert for days on end, no food, that was in the 3rd episode. But the first 2 episodes, they have the 2 older kids talking about life growing up on a family channel and how it made her really crazy. And she was abusive light, yelling a lot and hitting the kids, but not even close to what she ended up doing to the younger kids once the older kids moved out of the house. So it made it seem but she couldn't have gotten to that place without
the family channel
being a family channel. And also they just talked about, it was nice to hear from grown-up kids what it was like to grow up with a camera in your face. And they had so much footage, Jackie. I guess the family turned over all the hard drives. So she's this is all footage that was left on the cutting room floor. So she's thumbnail, smile. And she's if you don't smile, she's fucking crazy. And you see all that. That was most of the footage, just her not getting what she needs from people and threatening them. And the funny thing is that I guess if you were following her family channel, 8 Passengers, that was the name because they had 6 kids. You kind of knew that she was an abuser, which is so crazy because one time she was just a family channel, all fun, la, 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 until she shared, and she thought it was fine because she's so crazy. She shared that they punished their oldest son by taking his bedroom away for 7 months and he slept on a beanbag in the basement. And people were it's not a normal punishment. And people were this is kind of borderline abuse. And so if you were following, you were really onto it. But even just the level before the abuse, that they were talking about their kids online, Chad, the older son, had some behavioral issues and he got expelled from school. And she's talking about him being expelled and what their plans are. It's can your kid go through a moment by himself?
Yeah. Can he rebel and grow up in peace?
So I'll talk about it in the TV recap. Just my brief thoughts on the matter. I also watched Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It was a big TV night for me last night.
Big TV day for me yesterday. And we recorded Redheads yesterday, which you guys, the Redheads are the underappreciated podcast of our time. Yesterday's episode is so
That's
funny.
how I feel about The Toast.
Oh, of course. But the Redheads have a little
kind of feels
too.
You're the common denominator.
Well, I do think I'm underrated in my own time, for sure. For sure. But
very Shakespearean of you.
Redheads, sometimes we do such a funny episode. And that's why even when, the worse the book, the better the episode. So sometimes we read a great book and that's really fun. And then sometimes we read a bad book and I feel bad for, people's time that they spent reading this, iffy 600-page book. But the episode makes it all worth it, you guys. We are the funniest gals in town. So that will be up tomorrow. I had a lot of fun recording with the girls. I got to see my little sister, Dear Satch.
Oh, it's amazing.
Dear Satch.
How was she?
She was so satchy. She was so satchy. And Satch and I were...
That's so satchel.
Satch and I were aligned. We were simpatico.
Oh, it's always nice when Satch is on your side.
I was riding with the Satch yesterday.
I've got 7 on my side.
So that was really fun. And then I watched, of course, with Love Meghan,
WLM.
As soon as I had a free moment, I was sat down. So I have a lot of thoughts
I also watched the first episode.
Okay, so we're going to go through it. I mean, it's really, people have a lot of thoughts out there. There's like everything. Yeah. I've got to I'm in the middle of episode 4, and that's where like things are the momentum is slowing down for me, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So I took a little break and I watched Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, so we'll recap that at the end.
Big TV day. It's giving TV dinner.
It's giving TV review.
Giving TV recap.
It is. Back to our roots.
Back to our roots. And then what else is going on in the world besides like TV?
Besides
like, what are the stories?
Oh, the story's actually really good, but the common denominator is reality TV stars in one way or another.
Oh my God. I actually had like a really hard day on the internet yesterday because I'm sure we're going to talk about Jax Taylor and his big revelation on the Bravo podcast. But everybody just like, I kept seeing tweets and TikToks about Jax, and I'm like, my sister's addicted to cocaine.
That's hard for you that they were talking about me.
No, I was like doing a double take. I'm like, why are they talking about my sister like that? Like, excuse me, keep my sister's name out your fucking mouth.
That's funny. I don't identify with Jax as a Jax.
No, I never realized that you guys had the same name.
Other people, when we talk about Jax, when you call me Jax, like they're always like people are always confusing me with Jax Taylor.
Oh, I never made the distinction until yesterday.
Now Jax and Claudia is so commonplace on the show, but when we started saying it, like people thought you were with Jax Taylor.
I probably was.
You probably were. But just to clear things up, I did not announce yesterday that I have a cocaine addiction.
Maybe today's the day, though, that you do decide to announce it.
Inspired by my namesake.
By his bravery.
By his bravery, yes. So we will get into all the details.
Yeah, I don't really have much to share. It's just one of those days, you know?
Yeah. Well, all I have to share is my thoughts on TV. I feel like that guy from Willy Wonka, Mike TV, who's just like sits at home and watches TV all day.
Okay, also you just reminded me of something.
Watches TV
once. You just put the emphasis on
the wrong syllable.
Yeah, you said TV. And everybody knows it's TV, right?
Of course. I was being silly.
Oh, okay, because when people say TV, I'm like, what
TV.
did you just say? TV.
Of course.
Yeah, it's just the way it's done here in America.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, you could scram.
Yeah, and we say ladybug, not ladybird.
Oh, I saw that clip. It's funny how like clips have gone viral, and the episode with the most clippable moments is the Mindy Kaling one.
Well, of course, because she's so, she's in headlines anyway, but also her episode just like highlighted her fabulous personality. Mindy's. And I'm actually like, aside from Sex Lives of College Girls, like I don't watch Mindy Project, I don't watch The Office. So I actually, even though I like love Mindy through you because like my sister loves her, I don't consume her work that often. And I was just
That's so crazy to me because you are so Mindy coded.
No, I know. And everything that was coming out of her mouth, joke or not joke, just like she has so much personality, and it was it like highlighted a little bit like the lack of humor from Meghan. But that episode was really enjoyable because Mindy was just like bringing so much.
I mean, I implore you. Mindy is us, just Indian. Like, she grew up like obsessed with movies, obsessed with celebrities. It's like all she ever wanted to be. She like was chubby most of her life, like just not by choice. Like but she was in the mind of a thin girl. Like Jackie, she's so us, and she loves Judaism. Like she has a million jokes like in all of her shows about like Jews, and there's Jewish characters. But I think she also like participates in a lot of Jewish culture. She like celebrates Rosh Hashanah too. I saw that on her Instagram once. So she's so us coded. I implore you to watch the Mindy Project.
Maybe I will, but you should just watch that episode with Mindy and Meghan, because also she was saying how growing up, because they were talking about like their entree or things that they like to do growing up, and Mindy was like, I like to like look up really fancy recipes and like make them for my parents and play restaurant.
So us.
Which is just like so cute. And
no.
The addition of those anecdotes from Mindy just like continues to highlight like the lack thereof from Meghan.
Of what Meghan's sharing.
Yeah, like I'm just remembering that, and I'm like, Meghan just keeps talking about her gardening teacher.
Yeah.
In middle school. Like, I'm sorry, I took social studies in middle school. That's not what kicked off my love of history.
Right. That's the fair critique. I only watched one episode, and I think overall we'll get into it, but it was like fine. Then the second I put it on, I started to remember that like I find shows like this boring. Like every time
You
Ben
don't
puts on a
like
cooking
cooking
show.
shows?
Yeah, every time Ben puts on any cooking show, I'm like, oh, this is fun. And then 20 minutes later, I'm asleep. Like I was just watching the Magnolia show and like I was tired and bored. So while I'm excited that the project is finally here, I feel like I overhyped it a little bit in terms of how much I could actually watch in one sitting. It's not, you can't binge cooking shows.
Well, some you can. But
Not
you do
even.
reach a
Diners,
threshold.
drive-ins, and dives.
No, I've binged Magnolia Table. And
Boring.
I binged Molly, the farmer Molly girl. She's on the Food Network. Molly I think is her name.
No
I
clue.
binged him over Yom Kippur. I don't know why. I did
Yeah.
that. And then I tried to make like her meatless meatballs and it was a disaster.
So should we just dive in since we're already like...
Yeah, since we're talking
We're
about
already
TV, we're obsessed with TV.
We're already there.
Now, without further ado, here are the Fast Five stories
That's it?
that you need. I know, like all of my different songs, I just sort of like I couldn't
Yeah,
keep
like,
them
and
apart.
you cut it short.
It's the Fast Five stories. You need
What
to
about
know.
what are the Fast Five stories? Like what kind of stories? They're the ones you need to know.
You do.
Yeah, I thought we were like permanently incorporating that.
I know, but sometimes it's hard for me to get into like because I'm changing the words a little bit. You know, because I'm like it's the Fast Five stories. You need. It's just hard for me to keep all my melodies apart.
Okay, well, work on it. Work on it after hours. Today's episode is brought to you by Wayfair. And I actually placed a Wayfair order this morning. I'm in like the era of nesting where I'm just throwing everything away and I want new things, especially because Romeo peed on my carpet yesterday. So I bought a new
Jill
Zarin rug. Jill Zarin for Wayfair. You know, they do amazing Q Labs. So Wayfair is everything you could possibly need, from furniture to decor, outdoor furniture, storage solutions, organization, kitchen essentials, things for the bed and bath. Whether you're moving, whether you're refreshing, whether you're just bored of the guest room upstairs and you want a new Pargy wallpaper, Wayfair has everything for every budget for every room in your house. And they do have some amazing... What's best about it is like their range of products. Like if you're looking for a rug or whatever it is, you can find like the fanciest of the fancies to the most affordable. So whatever mood you're in, if you're in the mood to splurge or you're in the mood to, you know, budget a little bit, Wayfair's got you covered. There's something for every style, every home, and no matter your space or your budget, Wayfair makes it easy to tackle any project with endless inspiration, whether you need a light refresh or an organizational overhaul. Their delivery is free and easy, and it is the best delivery in the furniture game. Like, I'm used to waiting 6 months for something. Wayfair, no. My carpet's getting here on Saturday. I ordered it this morning. They have great deals, and you just... like, if you're not shopping on Wayfair, like, your home sucks. Sorry. Head to wayfair.com. Find something that's just your style today. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair. Every style, every home. Today's episode is also brought to you by Quince. Who doesn't love the good things in life? You know, we enjoy a little luxury, Jackie and I, very quietly. We're very quiet, luxurious people. But it doesn't mean you always want to splurge. And that's where Quince comes in. Quince is now our go-to for luxury essentials, but at an affordable price. So Quince is a fabulous place to shop for clothes, for loungewear. They offer a range of high quality items, but at prices within reach. So for example, some of the products they sell are like Mongolian cashmere sweaters, and they start at just $50. They have washable silk tops and dresses. They have organic cotton sweaters, 14 karat gold jewelry. The best part is that Quince's items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince is able to cut out the cost of the middleman, and then they pass the savings on to you, the customer. So you're getting like Pargelicious things that are on par with other fancy brands, but you're paying way less than people who didn't shop at Quince. They only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, which we love, and premium fabrics and finishes. Everything I've ever bought from Quince has really withstood the test of time. I have Pargy cardigans, and none of it that fits me right now, but I'm trying not to be negative. I have great trousers, Mongolian cashmere sweaters. Everything I get is really stylish, really classic. Great if you're building like a capsule wardrobe, and I paid less than if I bought it somewhere else. So give yourself the luxury that you deserve with Quince and go to quince.com/toast for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/toast. You'll get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/toast.
Thank you, /turt.
You're welcome, /dirt.
Our first story, the name on everybody's lips.
Jackie, our first story.
With Love, Meghan has premiered yesterday. 8 episodes dropped. We have started the process of watching. As Claudia said, she watched 1 episode. I watched 4 episodes. I've been very excited for this show because I have been craving cooking content, and I want to see like what Meghan's got for us.
How the other half lives.
After all these years of like secret project.
Now, tell me if this was my assessment based on one episode. And tell me if you agree or if it changes at all, because I saw the show being like heavily criticized on social media for little things like the recipes not being inspired enough and she's not filming in her own house. It's a set. And to be honest, like none of that really bothered me. I understand a lot of people have sets like for cooking shows. They don't necessarily tell the audience. So that's like Meghan being transparent. The only thing I wish that she had done, which was like not focused so much on like homeware projects and homemaking projects, because she's making all these things for her guest room and then we don't see them in her guest room. She just like packs them up and it's like, I'm taking them home to the guest room. Yeah. So that was like a little annoying because I would have loved to have seen, like I actually find that more interesting than cooking, like how you decorate your house. So like I would love to see the bath salts in the tub and the nightstand snacks. So the fact that like we only saw her making bags for the nightstand, not like displaying them, was a little silly. She should just, if she's not going to film in her own house, which to be honest, I have no issue with people criticizing that. Like she's entitled to like have a place of work. Like it doesn't bother me. I just wish then that she didn't do homemaking things or give us a fake guest room. Why don't you just at least pretend that this is your house, you know? Well, then she would be like, she's inauthentic.
No, that would be so inauthentic. It's really crazy to film a cooking show in your house. And I actually think she copied a lot of things that Joanna Gaines does on her show.
It was giving Joanna.
And in like a good way. Joanna Gaines like has done a lot of good things and like, sure, let's learn from them. So one, she cooks in a kitchen that's in a house that looks like hers, but isn't hers, but gives a homey feel. And then she shares all the food that she makes with her crew or says that she's taking it home to her kids. That's what Joanna does. And it comes off really well. And she's like, I can't eat all of this. Like everyone here, come here. And like Meghan thinks
then she also has a second set, right? It's like the craft room where they were making the candles. That's not the kitchen.
Yeah, there's two kitchens.
There's two.
It's very confusing. I thought the same thing. I'm like, wait, is this a new angle or a new kitchen? Agreed. Two kitchens. My thoughts on the show is there are moments that are like, hey, I'm learning something. Hey, I feel inspired. Even she made that one pot spaghetti in her first episode and it looked pretty easy. And then it got me off the couch and I tried to make it at home. Now it didn't come out amazing because there was no recipe available online. So I just had to kind of remember what Meghan said.
They need a digital platform.
Of course they do. They need like something where I could follow the recipe. But I like things that like inspire me to do something.
Practically apply.
Yeah, like to cook, to clean, to homemake, to craft. So like I like that already. She's getting me up. She's getting me into the kitchen and I'm going to try a spaghetti with fresh tomatoes. Like that's what I want out of a cooking show is like to see something that I feel inspired to do. So I thought that there were moments that were like, hey, that's a good tip. Thanks. But the core issue with the show is that there's no like reason for it. Like other shows, Ina, she's making dinner for Jeffrey. He shall come home and we will have
She's having a dinner party.
Other shows are Martha Stewart. She is teaching us something. She is an educator. This is for the person at home to learn how to make what I make. Now, Meghan.
No, Meghan's is just it's aesthetic.
Yeah,
that's the reason.
It's like you need a little bit more of a reason because it's like so silly. When she's having this mock kids party with Mindy Kaling, you're just feeling silly. They're sitting there under a balloon arch in dresses without any children around at a children's party table to show how you can make a children's party. And it's like there's no reason d'etre. Like why does every show should have like a reason for being, and they don't really have one. It's like you're not teaching us like a lot of cooking because Meghan herself says she's not like an expert chef, but are we learning with you? That's a good thing. Like Selena and Chef, are we learning new things with you? Are we going to try a new recipe with you? Like, are you going to show us how you make a meal that works for kids and adults? Like there's just no angle. It's just like, here's a bunch of pretty shit that I found on Pinterest. And that's the other thing. It really is like Pinterest overload. And it's like the first scene as the beekeeping, which was weird because she is a beekeeper. So if I wanted to watch beekeeping, I could go on National Geographic. But then the second scene, she's making bath salts for her guest. And like, where'd you learn to make bath salts? Why'd you learn to make bath salts? Like she doesn't share any personal anecdotes.
Well, because I think that like she just has a team of people. That's how I felt about when they made their own candles out of the beeswax, which is very like TikTok. Like I could before watching the episode, I know how to make candles and I know about the wick thing and the temperature and then the popsicle stick. So it did feel like she was regurgitating like internet hacks as like pargy aesthetic garden things when this is all like pretty common knowledge.
Yeah, but then frame it as that. Like, hey, I'm trying to make candles for the first time. Like, let's learn together. There's just like no framework for the show and she's doing like a bunch of different things at once, or even it could be like, so Mindy Kaling comes, and I think the best part of that episode is, aside from Mindy, like she's like, Mindy's coming. We don't have food. Like, let me make up a frittata. And I know that's an easy thing to make, but I've never made one. And I liked watching her make one. And I was like inspired. So she made this like really beautiful breakfast for Mindy. Mindy is so funny because she doesn't do anything herself and she doesn't even pretend like she does. So she's so impressed.
Queen.
And then they're like sitting and eating and talking a little bit. And then they start making these like stupid tea sandwiches. And I'm like, well, that would also be a good premise for a show. Like you cook for someone who's coming and then you guys sit down together and eat and have a conversation almost like archetypes.
A talk show. Yeah.
Right. Like
that's actually a good call.
That's a good idea. There's no template here and everything is just so random and then some things just really don't work. Like her putting the pretzels from one plastic bag into another, like that was a low moment for sure.
Yeah, I feel like what bothered, like the only real critique I have of the show, because yes, it's unstructured and it's like, who is this for? What are we learning? But at the end of the day, I think it's really meant to be like pargy aesthetic. And if you don't look too much into it, like it's a beautiful woman in a beautiful home doing beautiful things. But I remember when we announced the show and it was like every episode is a guest, you and I were like, ugh, like I hate guests. And I do hate guests. And I have to say that guest that I saw, her makeup artist Daniel, was a particularly low point and it was the first episode. Like I don't know if that was the best call. But I think that the guests are necessary because anytime Meghan was on screen alone, she's not a host, she's an actress. She's used to having lines written for her and that's her skill. So I felt like she was looking down at her hands a lot. She wasn't making eye contact a lot. Like she wasn't hosting super well. So having that person to bounce off of was great. I just wish that they had a little bit more like real conversations. It felt like every person from the clips I've seen in the Mindy episode and then the episode I saw with Daniel was like told to come on and share nice things about Meghan. Like, remember when we first worked together and you didn't have a publicist? Oh, you were so humble. And then you got me coffee from room service. Like everyone's like say something that makes Meghan look nice. Meghan look Hamish. Meghan look down to earth. Meghan looked like, and so it just wasn't giving real conversation.
No, like you could tell they're all have a prompt. Like even Mindy being like, you know what I was thinking? Like we are both on TV for 7 years. Like, yeah, we were. And Mindy did like as good of a job as you could have like weaving it in, but you could tell like she's being like told, bring up this, bring up that. And I also felt like in every episode, she's trying to relate so hard to her guests. Like with Mindy, they're both toddler moms. So like we're going in. The next
that's
one.
That's relatable. Like that's a good.
Yeah, that's a good angle. The next one was a chef in LA, a Korean chef, Roy Choi. And he's like, he's the star because he's making, he literally made 30 things in one episode. But then she's like talking about how she's an LA kid. Yeah, I'm an LA kid. I'm an LA kid. Yeah. Then the next one is this woman who's friends with her husband's polo partner. So some like fancy lady. And she's Argentinian. And Meghan starts speaking Argentinian Spanish. She's like, when I lived in Argentina working at the US Embassy. And it's like, you're trying to be all these other people. Who are you?
Yeah. So I feel like two ways because I feel like the show is getting like really unfairly criticized, even though I'm sitting here criticizing it, like because that's what I do. I think people are making like a lot of like overarching like generalizations about the show when it's supposed to be just like not that serious, right?
Right. It's light and it's not that serious. And what I'm confused about, and I didn't hate the show. I'm going to keep watching it, and it's exactly the
that cake she made with Daniel was pargy.
Yeah. But then she says, like, cake. I really don't like baking. I'm not a baker. But then she knows exactly what to do. And it's like, well, how often do you bake? Can you, like, share a little more? I feel like also I should relate to her. We have, like, the things that
kids the same age.
2 young children, like, take pride in making, like, food at home and homemaking and trying to get it all done. But then she does so many things that I'm like, how? Like, she made homemade dog biscuits. Like, I would never spend my time doing that. I would never make fresh bath salts for when you come and stay. So like,
I wish you would. Maybe if I had a tub in my room.
She shares that like, she didn't cook growing up, like in that Mindy Kaling combo that everyone's like freaking out about. That she ate a lot of fast food growing up. She was a latchkey kid, TV dinners, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, well, when did you learn to cook? Why did you learn to cook?
When did you start appreciating homemade wares?
How did you learn to cook? She talks about how she used to be scared to make a whole chicken, a roast chicken, because like she didn't want it to be raw. Like I was scared to make a whole, like I like have a lot in common with her, but I feel like she doesn't actually share things about herself, and that makes it hard to relate. And when you're watching a show like this, like you do want to relate,
human connection,
especially if that's the point of the show. So I feel like that's something, you know.
No, the thing is, if you're going to carry a show like about homemaking and family, and it's just you, like you have to share.
Yeah, just like small anecdotes that aren't. I heard about her gardening teacher already like twice.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear about him. And it's like, did you build the garden in your Montecito house, or was it there and that inspired you to start gardening? Like, share, please. Like, just tell us the story.
Or did you start gardening when you were living in London?
Right. Did you learn anything about cooking over there? Anything that you take, anything that you apply from like Harry's life and culture in your cooking at home?
No, just ladybug, ladybird. Now, the reviews in terms of like the people are split because either you like her or you don't like her. But the reviews in terms of like media, like writing, like people who write like TV show and film critic reviews have been really scathing, which I found to be so shocking. You've definitely felt like this shift in how the media writes about Meghan in the last year.
Yeah.
I feel like for a while it was like Meghan can do no wrong, queen. And now it's like she's being, I think, overly criticized.
Right. And it's like, this show is inoffensive. Like, why is everyone so mad about it? What's so confusing to me is like when she and Harry left the royal family and all, or even when they were in it and then they left and then Anna and everything and then the Oprah interview, like you could not criticize Meghan Markle without being called a racist. Like you could have no other reason for not liking her. You had to be racist. Like, look at Piers Morgan, lost his job. Sharon Osbourne lost her job for just saying Piers is my friend. Like, you couldn't say one bad thing about her. Even after the Oprah interview, you couldn't like question anything that she said.
American culture and media was very protective of her.
So, and to me, it's like, that was, of everything that's Meghan's done, like that's the most shocking behavior to me, like the leaving the family in such a disrespectful way. The interviews were the documentary was so disrespectful. Like this Queenie who is sick and dying and you're going to give her the finger and call her a racist and her whole family racist on your way out the door. And that's your children's great. Like that to me was like the thing that could be criticized, but like you couldn't. And now she's just living her life as a mom in Montecito, like actually trying to live the life that she said that she wanted, like a quiet, peaceful life with her husband and her children.
Garden and chicken.
And she's also trying to just make a living, work, like do her job. And we're mad about this. Like, I'm not mad about this. Is so, I can have criticism about the show because I want it to be better because I like it.
Right. Because you want to enjoy it.
But like, why is everyone hating on this? And why now is it okay to like hate her so passionately and really
for nothing?
For nothing when like you couldn't ever say a bad word about her before.
No, I know. Like the clip of her saying that her outfit was high-low because her pants were Zara, her sweater is Laura Piano. I found that, first of all, fascinating. I thought that was the most chic outfit. And everybody being like, well, who cooks with a sweater on their neck?
Someone who's on TV.
On a fucking TV show.
And by the way, she didn't cook with the sweater on. She put it on when Mindy came over.
So like, it's just, I agree completely. So much of the criticism is so unwarranted and so random when there was a period where like she could do no wrong. So like, I really am so curious, like what caused that shift in how the media talks about her? Like that Variety review from like the critic was scathing. Yeah. Like really, like the person who wrote it hates her.
No, and the fact that like even her pre-show article is in People magazine and it's not in one of the bigger magazines. Now, I'm not someone like who thinks that.
And then that Vanity Fair, that piece that kind of went a little bit under the radar, but that big sort of expose about them. Book. Right. Yeah. And the podcast for psychotic men.
No, I went to Google last night, Meghan Markle's spaghetti recipe, because I hoped that she had like put together a website. And then it was just articles of people like making fun of her spaghetti for being like stupid. I'm like, it's spaghetti and tomatoes. Like that's not news. And like, that's not offensive.
It's not.
Even if it doesn't look good to you, like it's pasta and fresh vegetables. Okay, maybe it's a little like bland or simple, but like it's healthy and it's nice.
Yeah, no, it is really weird. And it's so us to like.
Oh, now finally I have her back when everybody hates her.
It's Blake Lively. It's Blake Lively. Like no, it's really because it does make you really. It makes somebody like sympathetic when they're like. There's so no reason that this show is being as criticized as it is.
When she was like, such a darling. Like I guess if this show came out right after they left, everyone would be saying, "Oh my God, Meghan this, Meghan that." I don't like think there's like one or two people who like control the media, but but this makes me feel like
it's the Jews.
This makes me feel like there's one person who loved Meghan, and now that person has turned on Meghan, and the floodgates have opened. That's how it feels.
And she like accidentally bumped them at a party and didn't say sorry, and now he's like enacting his revenge,
like pissed off the person that was protecting her.
No, it does feel like there's a switch you flip.
A switch, and when did it happen? Like what I don't know. Was it?
It happened after the book, after the documentary.
The book was bad.
Yeah, but the book was well received in the sense that like at least he said stuff, you know, like it made news. Like I appreciated that, even though he is my nemesis. Like I seriously can't stand him, and when I'm talking about her, I'm never talking about him. Like, I hate him. I don't even think the book was so negatively, but it was the first time people were legitimately criticizing them. And then maybe it's like a slippery slope. I don't know. And now here we are saying her pasta's stupid and that her charcuterie board is stolen from Pinterest.
Yeah, I do. But I don't mind if she got it from Pinterest. Just say that. Just be like, I find the cutest stuff on Pinterest.
It's so relatable.
These are things that I use every day that I found on Pinterest. These are things I tried and I didn't like. These are things I want to try. Let's try it together. Just like.
So relatable if she had said like, no, doom scrolling on Pinterest while Harry sleeps and watches Duolingo, you know? Like.
Yeah. No,
she should open up. By the way, and I know we say this, like she should open up more, but look what happens when she does. Like she literally made a TV show, and like if I'm her, I'm sharing less now. People are so mean.
I know, but if you don't want to share, and you don't have to always be a person who shares, this isn't the line of work for you. Yeah. Honestly, she should go back to acting because you don't have to share.
Yes. Does she share at any point in the future how she makes her jam?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because like when they were making the jam cake and she's like, yeah, I made this. I thought it would have been great to like cut to a pre-made clip of her jam recipe.
Yes. They do show it and it's just her raspberries because she's like I'm so jealous of her garden. Oh my God. She just like has.
But the garden that they film at.
It's just the house in Montecito that they film at. That also has a garden. I guess just everyone has.
So it's not her real garden.
A farm in Montecito. With
a farm in Montecito.
Perfect backdrop. Like I feel sick.
Right.
Also, this came out yesterday. Her website, as ever, dropped, and you can now see what's for sale. So now also keeping that in mind with the show.
Are there recipes on it?
No, but this is what she's selling. And now it makes the whole show feel so phony because you see she's just pushing these products. Now I know why she puts flour sprinkles on everything because she's selling them. I'd never had a flour sprinkle before. Honey, of course. But it's like, it's not from your backyard.
Right. Where's the honey made?
Raspberry spread, crepe mix.
By the way, I would get her raspberry spread.
Well, now we just have to for R&D purposes.
Of course.
Ginger tea, peppermint tea, a hibiscus tea. She does spend a lot of time making teas on the show.
That's boring.
Yeah. Not my favorite because I like, a sleepy time.
Lipton.
Celestial seasonings.
These offerings at the grocery store are good enough for me.
Crepe mix. You know where they sell this all? The Buckingham Palace gift shop. Online.
I was going to say Ballerina Farm.
Oh, well, that's also similar. But two women can do that. They're like, this is such a blossoming industry and category that not a million, but a handful of women can and should do this. And I think there's room for everyone. But the Buckingham Palace gift shop, like this is what the website looks like. I don't know if anyone's put that together.
Well, honestly, that gift shop is fabulous and people in America don't know about it and don't shop it. So if Meghan's like idea is to bring that to the States, like that's a Pargy business idea.
Yeah. You know who told me about that? Well, not told me. I learned about it from her Instagram.
Stassi?
Miss Patricia.
So classic. You are Miss Patricia in the making.
Claudia, the websites look exactly the same. Claudia, I'm on both websites. Nobody's put this together yet.
Oh.
Only me and Miss Patricia could. And unfortunately, Miss Patricia
only
doesn't give a damn.
The elk of Patricia can get us here to this conclusion. I'm probably not going to watch more, and I don't think that's a testament to the show being bad. It's just a testament to, like, I find cooking shows. I don't cook.
No, like
I didn't realize until I sat down to watch. I was like, wait, I literally don't want to be watching this. Like, I don't like cooking shows.
If Meghan Markle got a starring role on SVU, I wouldn't watch it.
Correct, but you know my ass would. And if they redid Suits or something, she should definitely go back into acting.
So I feel like that's next. I don't know where we're going to go from here because this is an 8-episode show. Will there be more? I don't know. How much more does she have to give? I feel like...
I mean, Netflix is invested in as ever. Like, I actually think there's more to be done here contractually.
They need to, like, rework the format a little bit and pare it down. Like, we don't need all of these distractions. She's doing a million things. She's starting focaccia, then going on a hike with her friend. Then we're going to freshen up and shower. And then we're going to make pasta. Like, it's just too much.
And was the concept that every guest comes in is also staying at her house?
No. So, like, the chef who
Daniel
came...
Daniel
was staying with her. The chef who came was teaching her how to make Korean food. And I think we all learned a lot. Then her husband's friend's wife is, I guess, staying with her. She's making her like tea bags to take home and dog biscuits. Like,
wait, the one thing that I didn't see anybody talking about is I've never seen handwriting like that in my life.
Okay, I'm obsessed with her handwriting.
Do you think it's fake?
So I don't think so.
It's unbelievably beautiful.
But like, we really never see like more than one.
Pen to paper.
Yeah. She also did like the chalkboard, and she like starts out, and it's like maybe she started, but someone, I don't know. I need to see the whole thing. I love her handwriting.
Whoever's that handwriting, she should make stationery. Like, it's beautiful.
But she's so the type that would have amazing handwriting.
Yeah, no, I actually don't think it was fake. Like, it's really on brand for her to have like a Pargy signature. But I've never, it's like, it's perfectly straight too. She's writing like without lines.
Yeah.
She's writing on like these little, and it's totally straight.
Like, people were clowning on her because she put a bag of peanut butter pretzels into another plastic bag to leave for Daniel because he loves peanut butter. But then she wanted to label that the pretzels had peanut butter, just, you know, in case anyone has an allergy. But like, she knows that he doesn't.
But I think that was like her way of giving a tip, you know?
It was her way of giving a tip, which she could have just said. And
you'd be like, and by the way, always good to put in case your guests have allergic to nuts.
And two, if my handwriting looked like that, I'd keep writing no matter what. If I knew they had an allergy or not. We're labeling everything.
I would have all the walls in my house be like chalkboard or expo marker walls.
Yeah.
So I would just like whiteboard the shit out of my house.
Yeah. She should teach a calligraphy episode.
Yes.
Yeah, no, the handwriting,
Pargy.
So that's With Love, WLM. It's here.
Yeah, and it's kind of making me want to say, leave Meghan alone.
Yeah, no, there was a time to be upset with her, and like this spaghetti cooked in its own water is not it.
Oh, and I love that she put the boiling water like from the kettle. Like, who has time to boil water? Love that.
I did that.
Love it.
Nice. Yeah. But I didn't have Swiss chard because I don't have a garden in Montecito. Okay?
And what is Swiss chard? Cheese?
No, it's a big leaf.
Oh, yeah. I saw her like.
It's in the lettuce category.
Got it. Yeah, I saw.
I feel like Montecito must be like the best place on earth to live. That's probably why it's so desirable.
I'm pretty sure it is like the best place on earth to live. It's, I would say, LA's version of the Hamptons.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like people have their second homes there, but then like when you're really wealthy, you just like live there.
Yeah. No, it's really Pargy. I've got the Montecito itch.
Yeah, but by the way, you should take a trip. I follow this girl.
I'll never come back.
So I follow this girl. I think you know her too. She's the one who coined the term coastal grandmother. She like made it up, and she like lives the Nancy Meyers lifestyle. Mm-hmm. I think she like lives in LA, somewhere near there, but she's always taking trips to like Montecito, Santa Barbara, and she does these like big trip itineraries. You should follow them. She's so you. She wears like linen pants. Like she's so
Patricia, the elk of Patricia.
No, she's not Patricia because she doesn't do like crazy wallpapers. It's all very muted, but it's all very elegant. And she just had a baby too. And she's like always making just like cheese boards or whatever. And it's very Nancy Meyers. Like I think that's her aesthetic, but she does great itineraries. Her name is Lex. I think you would like her. And if you do ever do a trip, she does like there are a lot of Pargy places you could visit around LA, like Sonoma. So she's like, here's my Sonoma rec. But she's always going to Santa Barbara and Montecito, which I don't know if those are two different places.
They feel like next door neighbors.
Yeah, right? Like East Hampton and Southampton.
And now I kind of understand why Meghan has made Montecito her entire personality. Like America, like wanting to, because like that is what's inspired her to be this way in this stage of her life. Like just, you know, buying a house with a garden. Again, can you let us know? And like, they have chickens, right, too?
Yeah, that's like their thing. Oprah saw the chickens.
She didn't talk about her chickens. And now I finally care. Like,
Season 2.
I didn't care during Oprah.
Season 2.
Or maybe it's the back half of the season.
I could see Meghan not eating meat. Let me say this. It was enjoyable to just watch a beautiful woman. Like, she is really exceptional looking.
Yeah. Also, she drinks more alcohol than I would have thought.
Love,
yeah,
Queen.
She made a little joke.
Sorry, not Queen, Duchess.
She made a little joke that like everyone in
honey,
Montecito
you made a little joke.
Yeah, that's Mindy.
That everyone in Montecito drinks.
Because Mindy Kaling was like, wow, I've not had a drink this early in so long. She's like, welcome to Montecito.
Oh, that's so classic. No, like the takeaway here, obsessed with Mindy Kaling, like more than I ever thought I could be.
Yeah, you should watch that episode, by the way.
I actually will.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready for our next story? Mm-hmm. Some other major news in the TV category. Jax Taylor reveals cocaine addiction as he celebrates more than 80 days of sobriety. So Jax Taylor has revealed his addiction to cocaine while celebrating sobriety. He said, he went on Bravo's Hot Mic podcast and said, quote, "This is tough to say. I'm an addict. I have substance issues, primarily with cocaine. Oh, that's hard to say out loud. I've been dealing with this for, I think, the last on and off since I was 23. I'm 45 now. He said there was times where I would stop doing it and there was times where I'd go heavy on it. I think a lot of people who watch Vanderpump Rules over the years could tell that I was kind of on something.
Yeah.
He insisted showrunners didn't know what he was doing behind closed doors. He said that he was on the train, that he was on that train and he couldn't get off. He made sure to note, quote, "I don't necessarily think I have an alcohol problem, but the two go hand in hand. I can't do cocaine without drinking, so I just gave up both. And I'm proud to say I'm 83 days sober right now." He says this is the longest he's gone without anything since he was 21. He says it feels really, really good, but I just want to let people know that this is a really, really tough disease and a really tough sickness. I've been doing it for so long, he shared. He said that he's been hiding it or lying about it forever. He went to rehab twice. The first time, went well, but then he came home and had another outburst. And now, after the second time, he is this long sober.
Now, probably one of my major flaws is that I'm a Jax Taylor apologist. So you're going to hear some of my Jax Taylor apologist energy come through. I've seen people be really not sympathetic, being like, "Though the sky is also blue. Jax does cocaine and duh." And yes, if you've been watching the show, monitoring his behavior, it was clear there were moments where they were doing drugs. At least for me, I didn't think of it so much as an addiction. I was just they're young Hollywood kids and they're doing drugs. And, a lot of them have spoken about how in the very beginning they were doing a lot of Adderall. I don't know. I didn't think of it as a real issue, but it did seem like everybody sort of grew out of that behavior, started having kids. You have that party era of your life. And it felt like Jax didn't give up on it like others did. And that was maybe part of the reason why him and Brittany broke up. So I have sympathy for him. I think people don't. They just see him as this villain and they don't care. But 83 days is huge.
Yeah, I have sympathy for him as well. I agree. This shouldn't be shocking, but it is kind of surprising. I would have thought maybe even in his 40s, he would go out with the boys, maybe do some coke, as people do.
Right.
But not
bump
that it
here,
was,
bump there.
But not that it was affecting his life. It's the reason for his divorce. It's the reason for his marital
Right.
issues. It's the reason, for a lot of different things going wrong in his life. I didn't see that. And I thought a lot of the things that he did on both shows, The Valley and Vanderpump Rules, a lot of the crazy things that he did were just because he's a crazy man. And he's also a TV star and he's a professional villain. And I really didn't think it was much deeper than that.
That's a really good point. And did you see Brittany's statement on her Instagram stories?
Yeah.
I think she was probably getting a lot of reception being well, look, he's changed. And she's listen, I've been on this roller coaster. This is not, new to me.
It's too late for her.
Yeah. And I agree. I don't even think, let's say he turned his whole life around and he became this amazing guy, dad. I don't think these two should get back together ever.
Yeah. And it's too late for her. She, I feel like it probably took her so long to get to the place of leaving him. And she probably knew about most of this when they were together, but forgave him or gave him chances or lived with it. So to finally get to the other side and be I can't live like this, there's really no going back.
Agreed. Because in order to get to that place, you have to put up with so much shit.
Yeah. And it's just a total mentality shift. And now that she's free and they're divorced and she probably has a lot of custody of their child, she's happy. And it's too little. It's not even too little because it's what he needs to do, but it's just too late for them.
Agreed. I don't ship.
No, me neither. But I wish him the best. And I hope that brighter days are ahead and that he stays the path.
Same.
Are you ready for our next story? Mm-hmm. Another reality TV star making news. Gabby Windey is a married woman.
I saw this.
The Bachelor,
to my doppelganger.
Yep. The Bachelorette star secretly marries Robbie Hoffman, Claudia's doppelganger and former Good Guys guest, in a $799 Las Vegas wedding. So Gabby and Robbie are forever. She is now a married woman after wedding her writer and comedian girlfriend in a secret ceremony held in January. So Gabby is 34, Robbie is 35. To me, that just makes this more serious.
January. So they're only now sharing that they're married?
Yeah.
That's cute. I like that.
And now they've been married
that,
almost 2 months.
And she's having a real moment, Gabby Windey.
She is.
She's popping off her on social media. They love her on The Traitors. I think for a lot of people, because she was on a relatively unpopular season of The Bachelor. It was post-Bachelor fame. So she's from The Bachelor, yeah. But I feel like most people know her from social media and now The Traitors. Nobody knows her.
I've seen her podcast clips for a while now because she's been doing her podcast for a while. I see her clips once in a while. And I think I sent you one months ago, not to make it about me. And I was this girl is so funny. And I'm so glad that she's getting her flowers. And now I'd be curious to see clips of her from The Bachelor. Did she bring this energy to The Bachelor?
I don't think so. I think she was just a regular contestant,
Yeah.
And then once she got off the show, I think started to show her personality more. And I think that people were really receptive to it on her podcast. So it only encouraged her even more to like lean into her kind of weirder, quirkier side, and people love it. And I agree. I love the moment that she's having, just like for truly being herself, because she's kind of weird. Like,
yeah.
And I love that, you know, at the height of her fame, what does she decide to do? Marry her girlfriend who loved her before everybody else did. You know, I love the story. And you're right, them being 35, like they'll be together forever.
Yeah. It's not just like two crazy kids got married in Vegas and, you know, it's not real. I think that this is very real, and I'm happy for both of them. Mazel tov.
And I think they've been dating now for like 2 years. So it's a legit thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm happy for her. I really like her. She's very funny.
Yeah, she is. Part of me wants to watch Traitors, but I don't know if I already watched TV all day yesterday. I don't know if I could do it again.
2 days in a row.
2 days. Oh my gosh, my brain will rot.
I would tune in just to see Robin Dixon. I told you about that viral tweet, right?
No.
Oh my God, yes, I did. I'm like having deja vu. Whatever. When they announced the Traitors cast like months ago, people who watch Traitors who don't watch Bravo, like you don't know who half the people are. Same like we watch Bravo, but I don't know who any of these Survivor castmates are. So one of the people who watches like Big Brother and Survivor was like doing tweets about all the different castmates, and they put up a picture of Robin Dixon. They were like, I don't know who this woman is, but I just know she's like going to be the most slay traitorous. Like,
oh my God, yeah. You
and
told
people
me
were
this.
like, sir, there was a traitor laying in her bed for 10 years and she didn't know. Like, she's not going to sniff out anyone. It was really funny. So I would love to know how Robin fared on Traitors. That's why I would tune in.
That's really funny.
Yeah, for the Robin Dixon of it all.
Are you ready for our next story? Another reality TV star is making news.
Do I have a minute to let you know that the reality star that's making news is brought to you by Caraway?
You do. This reality TV star who's making news would love Caraway.
And Caraway is famous, just like us, for their iconic cookware set. But also, don't sleep on their other products. Like I would say that's probably their bestseller, but I love their bakeware. I made muffins, once. I love all their different kitchen utensils, their knives, their cutting boards. Anytime I need something from the kitchen, like now I just go to Caraway. And anytime I'm shopping someone's registry, I find like almost all the girlies have Caraway on their registry. And that's always the thing that I buy because I have firsthand experience with how pargy it is. But their prep boards, their prep and set boards are so fabulous. It's an 18-piece prep and board set. It's designed with everything that you need to be more organized and efficient for prepping. It features high-quality knives, shears, sustainable FSC certified birchwood utensils and boards and storage organizers. Also, their food storage containers are fabulous too for like leftovers. What I like about Caraway is like the aesthetic, you know, it's all made well, free of chemicals, yada, yada. But like, it's not clunky and it's perfect for like the sweeper in me. It's like, they don't give you more than you need. They don't make it like extra bulky and stupid for your countertops. It's really pargy. And then of course it's cooking without toxins. 95% of home goods are made with toxic chemicals like PTFE or Teflon. Over 70% of frying pans are sold in the United States with Teflon, but not Caraway. Make the swap to non-toxic living today with any of Caraway's internet famous sets to save you money and keep your meals clean. Plus, if you visit carawayhome.com/toasty10, you can take an additional 10% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive for our listeners, so visit carawayhome.com/toasty10 or use code toasty10 at checkout. Caraway, it's non-toxic cookware made modern. Today's episode is also brought to you by Boll & Branch. So if you really want to change the way you sleep, you need to upgrade to Boll & Branch's 100% organic cotton sheets. You will fall asleep faster. You will feel that luxurious softness. It'll put you in an instant state of relaxation. And you'll spend every night in buttery, breathable comfort. Feel your sheets get softer with every wash. So discover the difference with Boll & Branch's 30-night guarantee. The quality is really unmatched when it comes to Boll & Branch, and you can shop all their different bed accessories. They have great throw blankets. I love their signature sheet sets. That's what I've had in my house forever. They're made with 100% organic cotton. It's woven. They're made differently, their products, so you'll really sleep better at night and you will feel the difference. Also, like sleep is so hard for me these days. So my temperature is just like high, low. I'm like sweating, I'm freezing. And I love Boll & Branch because they really are perfect for all temperatures. Like you can use them through all the different seasons. It really regulates your temperature super nicely. And the signature hemmed sheets have colors and sizes for every bedroom imaginable. They go really well. I like the natural color, I think it's called. So now you can change the way you sleep with Boll & Branch. Get 15% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com. Our promo code is TOAST. That's TOAST. That's bollandbranch.com. Promo code TOAST to save 15% off. Exclusions do apply. See site for details. bollandbranch.com. Promo code TOAST.
Thank you. Claudia.
You're welcome. Oh, okay, Claudia, not the government name.
Things are getting serious. Because Kristin Cavallari is returning to reality TV with a new E-series called Honestly Cavallari, the Headline Tour. So Kristin Cavallari is going back to reality TV, back to E! To do another reality show, but it's actually like a show following her podcast tour. So it's like the Smartless doc for the Swirlies.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was giving Swirly Smartless.
I just have to say, this is so brilliant. Like such a no.
It's a good idea.
It's such a no-brainer. Like I'm surprised
because she's
someone
really
had
made
this
for
idea.
reality TV.
Yeah, and I liked that Smartless template of like following someone on a podcast tour, and she's doing it on E! It's not like it's going to be. And wasn't theirs all in black and white? That was weird.
Yes, that was
This
like a
will
weird
be
thing about the
colorful.
Smartless. Extremely.
Compared to
we gotta
that.
get Shannon on there. Shannon should open for her.
Shannon should open for her. Honestly,
Just an idea.
I think her podcast tour is going to have guests.
I'm sorry. I just want to say, if you're listening as an audio and you hear like a little bit of like a humming, I'm sorry. I need to turn my fan on. It's 1,000 degrees in here, and I'm carrying a child. So like, please don't complain.
No worries. I think her podcast tour is going to have guests, as podcast tours do.
Shannon.
And like,
I
not
feel
just
like-
for us, but like very Cavallari stands.
I didn't even watch the show. I don't even know like what the tea is, but I know that Shannon would do it. Like, I think that she would, like,
course
to
she
close the
would.
circle. I feel like Kristin wouldn't,
Yeah.
and that sucks.
It does. So Kristin announced on Instagram, I'm so excited because I'm coming back to E! and Peacock. I have a new show premiering June 5th, and they're going to follow me on my very first Let's Be Honest podcast tour. I have lots of friends coming out. We're going to pull back the curtain on the headlines and talk about what's really going on. So I'm excited to be back on TV, and I can't wait to see you guys June 5th. I also feel
On
like
TV?
on TV. I feel like Kristin already shares a lot on her podcast and like gives us actual tea. And
Yes.
because this is going to be shared, like this is a big deal, I feel like she's going to give us even more.
No, this is like really, I kind of want to give it like a Toasty Lions award. It's really firing
Claudia,
on all cylinders.
I want to give it a Toasty Lions award.
Because it brings her back to reality TV, which people loved. It's a great win for E! because they can't seem to get anything right. It's huge for podcasting. It's really brilliant.
Yes.
Are you
And
adding it to the Toasty
I
Lions?
am adding it. She's also just like made for TV. This is her fourth time on a reality
Yeah.
show. And
She's the common denominator. Like, she's had multiple successful reality TV shows. Like, it's her.
yeah, like she needs a cooking show with Love Kristin.
No, actually, she doesn't.
Why? She's a chef.
Because, yeah, but she's also like a shit-stirring, like, personality hire. Like, she doesn't need to be in the kitchen. Like, she could be doing that while out having cocktails with Justin.
No, but-
that's more interesting.
But she could do the shit-talking personality while cooking because you're
Not everything needs to be a cooking show, Jackie.
No, but we were just saying like what Meghan lacks and why she might not be the greatest at this because you say she looks down, she can't host, she can't talk. Like,
Yes.
Kristin is, and don't forget that Kristin has multiple award-winning cookbooks. Don't forget.
Yes, but I just think Kristin's, like, the best version of a Kristin show is not her in the kitchen. But I'm sure it would be good.
I think everything she's just
She
got
does.
it.
Yeah, she's got the star quality.
She does.
So I think that this will be very good. I also love to see, like, I love podcast content. I think
I didn't even think about us, but this is
yeah,
great
like,
for the
selfishly,
industry. This is great for the
selfishly,
industry.
I find like what other people with podcasts do and how they work and travel. Like, I find that really interesting.
1,000%. I want to see what hotel she stays at. I want to see.
Yep.
Does she fly private?
What size venues is she selling out? What is the context of the show? You know, we just spent like the last year putting together a live show. It's very hard, and I haven't been to a lot of other people's live shows, so I don't know what goes on there. So I'm looking forward to finding out some industry secrets.
Yeah. No, like 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Our fifth and final story, some new couple news for anyone who
Who?
cares. I don't know how many people are going to care about this.
Okay, let's see. Raise your hand if you care.
Madelaine Petsch and Tyga. Are
I
dating.
care a little. I can't
I
lie.
guess like I care a little because like
because it's so weird.
and I was once like a big fan of Riverdale and a big fan of hers.
And Kylie and Tyga.
And Kylie and Tyga. But Tyga doesn't make news on his own, you know?
No, Kyla. Tyga is kind of like a nepo boyfriend. He is always like punching above his, what's the phrase? Weight class? Like
Yeah.
about like he's always like dating better looking, more successful, more famous women than him. And they bring him up. He very much subscribes to the ideology of rising tides, rise all shides.
Yes. So
He dated Kylie, he dated Avril Lavigne.
He dated Avril
Right?
Lavigne? No. Did he?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Black
Tyga.
China, of course.
Well, of course, but that's not really who I was referring to. Tyga dated. Yeah, Avril Lavigne.
Oh, wow.
I knew I wasn't just making
That's
that up.
just weird because of Brody.
So they dated, oh my God, totally.
I think we probably put that together.
March, April, May, June for 4 months in 2023.
Good times.
He also dated Cameron Swanson. I don't know her, an influencer and fashion designer. Aren't we all?
So sources.
Bella Poarch.
Oh,
Tyga dated Bella Poarch, the TikTok girl.
Why is that so surprising?
I feel like I would have known about that.
Oh.
And it says that he was 30 and she was 19.
Oh, yucky.
Yucky. Oh, Tammy Hembrow, classic. Iggy Azalea, Kylie Jenner. So let me tell you, he does quite well for himself.
Yeah, he does. And this is also great news for him. Sources confirmed to TMZ that he is dating.
Jackie. Guess who he dated for a year in 2007?
I don't know.
Would Cheetah Girls, Cheetah Sisters from 3LW, Kelly Williams.
Got it. But not Adrian.
No, that would have been so crazy.
Cute. No, he has good taste.
I know. Am I crazy? Like, how does he keep pulling these women? He's like not that cute, in my opinion.
Personality.
Or trust fund.
He must have a great personality.
Yeah.
Like Pete Davidson.
Oh, I guess like he is kind of a Pete Davidson. But Pete Davidson is really successful in his job. And that makes you more attractive, like when you're at the top of the game in whatever field it is that you do. I mean, I think maybe at a time Tyga was rock city bitch, rock city bitch. Like I think for a point he was. I don't know if he's currently like still the hit maker he once was.
Yeah, so I think it's just his great personality. Maybe he's like a really great boyfriend, you know?
Maybe he's like hysterical or something.
No, and maybe he just like has a lot of love to give, and you feel great when you're around Tyga, and you feel like the best version of yourself.
So I forgot, who's he dating?
Madelaine Petsch. From
That's
Riverdale.
really random. I thought she was dating that guy like forever. Like,
they
thought they never broke up.
A long time ago, but they were dating forever. Travis Mills,
T. Mills.
She's also like dated other people. Her dating history is weird too. And there's one person that she dated that I feel like she wants us to forget about. I'll let you know.
Oh, we forget nothing. She don't know. Elephants never forget.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I think I know who it is, but I don't want to.
You don't want to speak out of turn.
There's like two people that I conflate, but I do think it was Aaron Carter. But hold on.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
really?
Madelaine Petsch dating history. Thank you.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, Aaron Carter.
I never heard of that.
Aaron Carter.
2014.
Miles Chamley Watson and Anthony.
Oh my yeah,
Lee.
there's literally a picture of them on a red carpet. I'm dying. She looks like so Cheryl Blossom in the photo because it's from 2014.
She's so Cheryl Blossom.
She's so random.
She is.
And this couple's really random.
But like they have my blessing.
They have my blessing. It works.
Yeah. I hope that like this is it for them.
Yeah, and they're like, you know, she's your doppelganger, so they're kind of like you and Zach coded.
They are. I used to like really feel she used to be one of my faves.
Yeah.
But people change. Like I mean just you know.
Like Riverdale stopped being good.
Yeah.
But that first season of Riverdale, like if you were alive to experience it, you remember the tectonic plates of the universe shifted in that moment. Like we were all watching this one show on the CW, and it was probably one of the best singular seasons of television in the last 20 years.
Oh, for sure.
It like I forget what the big twist was at the end. But it was something about Cheryl and Jason Blossom. Like when you figured out like what it was, like who killed Jason or whatever.
Not that we remember.
No, I don't. But I remember being like, that's one of the greatest twists I've ever seen.
You know what I think it was? I think
Spoiler
it was
alert.
like they thought it was the dad, but the dad actually secretly had a brother. So it was like the uncle.
No, that was like much later on when the show got stupid. Yeah, the dad had like an evil twin.
Doesn't everyone? But at least like that kind of works because Cheryl and Jason were twins. So like twins ran in the family and ran in the Blossom family.
Yeah. Let's do TV recap. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills was probably one of the most pointless episodes of television I've watched. Like, I don't even, if it weren't for Kathy accidentally walking on the runway, like I would have nothing to say.
If it weren't for Kathy, period, like her being in the doctor's office with Kyle and being like, let's find out who she is. I can make one call and find out who took those pictures and who set it up. And
Kyle's clearly trying to like shut down the conversation.
It was so weird. The way that Kyle is reacting to everything is why I have a hard time
understanding her.
And like giving her the same like grace that I would give Dory, even though like Dory doesn't need grace because everything she does is right. But like, you know, I could give someone a pass when they're going through a hard time. But the fact that Kyle like will not give us an emotion. And let me ask you something, Kyle. And I think people have tried to ask Kyle this question. If you had your druthers, do you want to stay married?
Oh, we don't know. I thought you were going to say.
That's crazy that we don't know.
We don't know. Like, yeah, she's so confusing. I thought what you were going to say is like, you don't want to talk about this. You don't want anyone to question your marriage. But we all last season had to deal with you doing the music video, you bringing Morgan around. Morgan's on camera. Morgan's at the party. Morgan's here. Morgan's there. And now we can't talk about any of that. Like, I'm so confused.
No, and I think they say it in next week's episode, but it's like, okay, we can talk about Mauricio and the girl in the picture. That's kosher. But we still can't talk about Morgan. So it's like,
Kyle is still actively hanging out with Morgan.
Kyle is like picking and choosing like what can be said on the show when it's all part of one storyline. And even at the doctor's office, like Kathy said something and you see Kyle be like, no. And like, it's like looking at the camera like, no. And it's like, the can of worms is open now.
I am also just like really losing interest. Like, I don't care anymore. When they got divorced, I thought it was really crazy. I'm like, oh, I wonder what happened. And then the Morgan thing, I'm like, oh, okay, this is getting like interesting. I officially like don't care. Even when I saw the pictures of Mauricio, they wanted us to be like, literally didn't care.
No, and I know
and to be honest, I don't even think it was staged. I think it's Mykonos in the summer. There was definitely like some Bravo gay in the airport being like, that's Mauricio, and took a picture. Like, it's not that deep.
That's what I thought too. But I feel like we have to look at we should do this. Look at the credit of the picture. Who, like, is it
probably TMZ?
No, the photography agency. Like, I feel like that's why they know it wasn't an agency. It appeared to. But I feel like if anybody called the paparazzi, it would be the girl.
But no, it appeared to have been like a homemade video. And then like a TMZ or somebody buys it and then they get the photo credit for it.
Hold on. Not like Splash, you know?
Or then the person who took it sells it to Splash.
Photo, Coleman Rayner. Okay, who's that?
Google.
Because I feel like they are more paparazzi literate than we are.
Yes.
It's a news and picture agency.
So somebody sold it to them. That's
sold
the
it
thing.
to them. Okay.
Or yes, one of their photographers happened to be at the airport.
No, I don't think so. Happened to be. I think I don't think Mauricio called paparazzi. I think the girl or her friend was like looking for a moment and called the paparazzi.
Maybe.
And I know we're supposed to think that Mauricio is like a dirtbag because he's like kissing on some younger girl on vacation. But then you need to put it in the context of like his wife is kissing another woman
for a year
publicly in a music video, bringing her on the show, like kind of dangling this in front of everyone. Like her behavior in terms of moving on and disrespecting
Jackie,
her
she has
husband.
no leg to stand on. And that's why she's not visibly angry, because she knows she can't be, but she might feel that way just like because she does.
I feel like not enough people are talking about that. Like, this is in response to all of that. This isn't the first move.
No, Mauricio's done nothing wrong.
Yeah, and now seeing where things are, and I feel like he's probably really happy in his new life and with the young girls. Like, I don't think they're getting back together.
No,
and Kyle
I don't even know if I want them to.
She wants him. Like, it's not like she's asking him to come home.
She's just like asking everyone to stop.
Stop. Yeah, like
stop what?
Yeah, but if she was like, please, Mauricio, like, I love you, we have a family, we can, like, okay, so we both went and had our fun, but like we can be together and grow old together. But she's not even saying that.
Now, another take I had on the episode was that I loved, all the women getting together at this event, but like throwing fashion shows is just
so OC season 1.
Thank you. It's like the lowest bar of Real Housewives entertainment. And I think as far as they go, like Sutton's was really nice.
Yeah.
They had like a full red carpet, but like I can't watch that. Like I really can't.
It's hard to watch.
It is. And Kathy made it bearable when she like literally walked to the back because she obviously thought this was like some low budget loser ass production, being like, would you like to have Dorit MC? And then walking back out and not realizing the show started and not realizing that she was on the runway because the runway was like this small slab of concrete because it was a pool. Yeah. So I actually understood Kathy's confusion.
Oh, I thought that Kathy, like she's got hurt, and so I feel like she must be on some pain meds that like had her a little
the limp.
Loopy.
Oh, that was funny.
Because her going to Sutton backstage before the show starts, do you want Dorit to MC, is like the craziest thing that's ever happened. And it's not like Dorit even knew that Kathy was saying that. I think she was a little loopy from the meds.
That's actually a good point. When she's leaving like the backstage and she's like limping, like that was
Claudia,
really funny.
When the lights go down and the show's about to start and it's Kathy
wandering
limping out.
hysterical. Oh, and we did finally get, not even finally, because we were saying a couple of weeks ago, we hope we see the final result of Erica's house. And we did. Ugh. And I have to say, I thought it looked so good, except that hallway. That hallway, like when she leads to the bedroom and then like that big blue
bottom white top.
Yeah, what the heck? Yeah, that was terrible.
Okay, yeah.
I was shocked. It was like somebody designed the whole house and then somebody else designed that hallway. Like, I thought it was so random and weird.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't have done black, but like this is Erica's home, and it looked great. I could feel the energy emanating. And when Erica said, I know for some people like a home renovation like is not news or anything, but like for me it's a complete change in my life. Like I felt like this is one of the greatest storylines we've ever gotten from a housewife is Erica's home renovation. I love it, every minute of it.
And I think her mom is so beautiful. Like I loved, she oddly had like, I guess like the most uninteresting storyline that episode, but because it's like your mom comes to visit and you're redecorating your house. To me, that's like the lowest bar of Housewives entertainment.
It just goes to show it depends on
it's Erica,
the person, and like it's just so real. Like
we
just
genuine. Spent 3 episodes at Sutton's childhood home, and like I could not have cared less about her and her mother.
Right.
But this was really beautiful.
Yeah, I'm just like so proud of Erica. I really don't think. I mean, and they all have been through a lot, but what she's been through in the last 3 years.
Next level.
So
nobody's even come close.
I'm really, really happy for her.
Me too.
And it's a joy to watch.
But other than that, it was a relatively non-starter
and Jennifer
episode.
Tilly saved the fashion show as well.
She's funny.
Yeah, she is.
Every time she talks, I like her even more.
Yeah. I love that she like says stuff that you would think would come off badly, but then she just says it in such a sweet, endearing way. It's like because she's not worried about what people think of her because she doesn't have to be.
She's very real.
Because she has like more money than she'll ever need, and it just comes in the mailbox from her ex-husband.
Right.
And like you can't cancel her. Like the checks still come. So she just like shares whatever, and even if it's not like the most PC thing, and it's just like it plays well because it's funny and real.
Agreed. I really I enjoy her a lot.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing I watched was the Ruby Franke documentary. Now, I explained a little bit at the top of the episode, but I just want to tell you like what my takeaways were. And like I have to tell you about this husband, okay?
Okay.
Because basically the first 2 episodes are just like she has 6 kids. And the older 2 are on the documentary in addition to the dad. The younger 4 actually are nameless, faceless. They do a really good job of protecting because their custody battle is still actively ongoing.
Who do they live with? And is Ruby Franke in jail?
Ruby Franke and her business partner Jody, who both were the abusers, are both serving up to 30 years in prison.
Okay, so how is there like a custody thing?
So so basically what happens is like they take you through this journey. She was a mommy vlogger for a really long time, at first making a lot of money. And then the big scandal happens where she says, my son's been sleeping on a beanbag for 7 months. And she kind of like loses a lot of her revenue, a lot of her viewership. Things turn really dark. And so they then become a different type of channel. They turn their name from 8 Passengers, which is like family van, to Moms of Truth. And it gets dark. She meets this woman, Jody, who does like religious conventions and therapy, and she's like a psychologist who lost her license. And this woman, Jody, like infiltrates the family. She eventually moves in with the family. And she's brought in to work with the older son, Chad, who's having a lot of behavioral issues. He got expelled. And she ends up like really indoctrinating the members of the family into like some sort of cult. Connections is like her company name. And she holds these like seminars, and they're all really buying it, especially the mom. So much so that like the mom and Jody get really close, and they say that the oldest daughter was like, I believe that they were sleeping together. Ruby used to sleep in the business partner's bed every night. The mom used to sleep in the business partner's bed because she would have these like religious exorcisms, you know, like. And then Jody very slowly got Ruby to leave her husband. So the husband's in the documentary, and the abuse that she's gone to prison for occurs over the period of 10 months at the very end of this whole saga. And it's to the 2 youngest kids.
And the husband's not in the picture, not married.
And the husband is not in the picture. So basically, right before this crazy abuse starts, Jody has really infiltrated the mom. And the mom says to the husband, you know, for the sake of our marriage, and they're very religious Mormons, so getting divorced is like not really an option, but she's clearly has a lesbian lover and they have plans and they need the dad out of the house. So she says, Dad, Kevin, whatever the husband's name is, for the sake of our marriage, we need a separation. You need to move out. You need to go completely no contact with me and all the kids. So this guy sees this freak move into his house. Things are getting really weird. The mom's acting crazy. And now he's being told to leave. Now, a dad with even the smallest intuition would say, fuck no, right? There's something weird going on in this house. I'm not leaving. What does this man do? He leaves. He gets an apartment. He blocks all of his children's phone numbers because some of the older kids are like starting to see that this is weird and like going to their dad for help. And he literally will not respond to them. Okay. And for like 10 months, he lives in this apartment, just like doing what Ruby said, which was not talking to anyone. He's like a hermit. And during those 10 months, she has 4 kids left. Kids 3 and 4 go to like live with a friend, and kids 5 and 6 live with the mom, Ruby, Jody, the crazy religious psychologist friend, at her house 4 hours away in this like really deserted part of Utah. And what goes on in those 10 months is like some of the most horrific shit you can ever imagine. And they only know because the little boy escapes and they have the ring footage. It's actually so heartbreaking. He walks up and you could see he's emaciated. Like you could see only bones. He walks up to the house, rings the doorbell. Nobody answers. He's at the neighbor's house. Nobody answers. And he walks away, and thank God somebody, he was like an older guy. He took a while to get to the door. He's like, what's up? And the guy's like, the kid's like, can you do me a favor? And the old man's like, well, it depends what it is. He was like, will you take me to the police station? And then the old man comes out of the house and he sees this kid, weighs seriously 5 pounds. He has duct tape on his ankles and wrists. His ankles and wrists are also like bleeding. And he sits him down, him and his wife like give him a snack and pretzels and water, and they call the police and they have the phone call to the police, and the guy's like, this kid just showed up at my house, and oh my God, this old man starts crying on the phone, like just based on what he's seeing. Like it was so upsetting. He was like, this kid's emaciated. So the police then go to Jody's house. They knock down the door. They got to find the other 2 kids. They don't realize the other 2 kids have been sent to live with a friend.
Okay, but there's one kid.
Their other daughter, yes. And this house is huge. And she's got like this huge basement with a safe room, and it's really fucking weird. So they find the other daughter. She's like shaking, sitting in a dark closet. Her head has been shaved. She's emaciated. She has, a rope burn all around her ankles and her wrists, like the same exact thing. And they can't find the other 2 kids, but there's this like big safe in the basement. Like it's a vault door. And Ruby's like, I don't know the code. Sorry. And the police officer just guesses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it opens. Okay. And I thought the other 2 kids were going to be in there, and I was so glad that they weren't, but it was clearly like their torture chamber. There was like these Tupperwares full of cayenne and water that like they would throw on the kids' wounds, like really fucking evil shit.
How old were the 2 young kids?
I believe they were like 10 and 11 or 12 and 13. Yeah, 12 to 13. So all of this, the kids get taken to the police. Ruby, they're looking for Ruby. Jody gets arrested, and they call the dad. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. Ruby calls the dad and is like, well, you want me back? Here's your chance. Go pick up our kids at the police station. Bring them back. So this idiot is like following orders, goes to the police station. The police are like, do you know what's been going on with your kids? He's like, no, I haven't seen them in 11 months. The police is like, you haven't seen your kids in 11 months? He's like, yeah, no, we're separated. And he's like, well, your kid went and rang the neighbor's doorbell. He's emaciated. And this guy, who's been so dumb the whole documentary, you want to punch him in the face. But he's a smart guy. He has a job. I think he went to college, got a PhD. What's emaciated mean? Like real fucking moron. And he still does not believe anything. He's like, well, they hate us because we're different and we're moral and religious. He ends up like seeing the light at way past the 11th hour, and you just want to fucking slap him because he should be in jail too. Like he knew what was going on in that house, and he like left. But now I was like, the only thing the documentary didn't tell us is like, what happened to the kids? Where do they live? Because the mom and Jody both went to prison. Mm-hmm. The dad is free, but who is taking care of those 2 kids who, actually there's 4 kids left, but especially the younger ones. So it's all in family court and it's all like sealed records.
Yeah.
But a report is that the dad is filing for custody. Like seriously, I don't know what a better alternative is, but please, if those kids end up with that idiotic dad, I'll die.
Yeah.
You wanted to shake the screen. And I know the whole documentary is about Ruby, and she's really fucking evil. Like,
yeah,
really.
But that's like known. It's always
yeah.
That's what's frustrating is when there's like people who haven't been brought to justice.
Oh my God, him. Like so. And so the oldest daughter is like an advocate now for she's trying to bring that California law to Utah. She wrote a book that was really well received, The House of My Mother. And the older kids didn't even really experience that abuse because it was really like that 10. But she was like like I said, abusive light mother up until that point with the crazy. And it was all started from the Family Channel. Like,
Got it. And she just had like really negative experiences from being on a Family Channel.
Because they liked it at first. Like they were making a lot of money, and especially the kid, he became like really popular with girls. But it very quickly turned really dark before it even got abusive. Like it's just no way to live. Like a camera in your face every fucking second. Like you can't enjoy anything. Like kids go through things like embarrassing things, all of it splayed out on the internet. Like really, that wasn't the point of the documentary because obviously the abuse like took over, but it's such a conversation worth having. Like it really made me see, and I think a lot of people come to family channels. I think Ruby did fairly innocently.
Yeah. And I also think like not everyone who shares their family life like has a family channel. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I don't follow any family channels.
Right, where like each kid is a character.
Right. And it's like that's their whole shtick. Like a lot
Jackie, they got paid $10 when they were in a video. She was making at one point $100,000 a month from YouTube.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Evil. And her ugly face, every time she was smiling with that big gummy smile, I wanted to fucking smack her. She's really evil. And I love that the courts did their thing, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I feel sick. Thanks.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend you watch it. And it was a good documentary, though. And I'm glad that I watched it because there was like, she was being spoken about so much online. And I knew very little.
Yeah, you can't, that's just something you could jump into, especially when it's someone that you didn't know before this all happened. Like there's all history.
Right. She started vlogging in like 2000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really crazy stuff.
Well, that's your TV recap.
Your pit of the day. And that's our show, you guys. Make sure to come back tomorrow. We've got Summer House recap.
Summer. Are you sure? Summer. Wednesday?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, we got like a full week of content these days.
I know. Thank you so much for listening to the Toast Monday Morning Show. We deliver the fast stories you need to every Monday, Friday on YouTube. So you're watching us on YouTube. Please feel free to subscribe. This video, thumbs up. We're also available as podcasts everywhere podcasts can be found. So Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Radio, iHeartRadio, Castbox, all the places where visit a podcast fan. So tell us 5-star review about a beautiful setting and wickedly down. There we are.
Love ya. Bye.